Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it. Welcome back, Warriors. What's up? What's going on? Terry,
Yeah,
how are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you? No. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, we don't want to gloss over how we're actually doing. Not here on this show.
Yeah.
I'm not doing great because the weather is having a fit this week, and it's not
Okay.
It's not doing me any favors. It's my eyes are fatigued this week, which is crazy. It hasn't happened in a while. I mean, I can still see fine and all that, but they're just really, really tired. But that's because it's like 20 degrees Celsius today, and it's going down to like 2 Celsius tomorrow.
Well, look at you doing Celsius. Thanks,
Well,
bro.
that's Google converts it for me. Let's not think
still.
I learned anything.
It doesn't matter.
Just using the tools that are available, right?
Yes. Do you know how to do the calculations to actually convert it?
I do.
I did, like in elementary school. I remember that, but I forgot the equation.
If I'm remembering correctly, it's the Fahrenheit minus 32 times a fraction, like 5/8 or 5/9, something like that, and that's how you get to
Something like that.
But it's too early for math, man.
Which is cool because we have to do the -40 to see how it comes out -40 again.
Yeah. Yep. So
Yeah.
So it's not doing great. So anybody out there who suffers and has a hard time when the weather wild swings like 70 to 40, that's a lot. I know when the temperature dips like 20 or 30 degrees, everything just hurts. Everything slows down. I get miserable. I don't want to talk to people. So I just try my best to remind myself, that eventually it'll be fine.
It's also the pressure that no one talks about, that we don't even know anything about, honestly. You know what I'm talking about? Is it the biometric pressure?
Barometric.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry. If you have biometric pressure, you need to like
what's biometric?
reset your level, and that's
I don't even know what
that's
that
nothing
is,
I deal with. That's for I know.
Okay,
but yeah,
well,
a lot of people are affected by changes in pressure and stuff, and that it plays with inflammation and fatigue and stuff like that, because inflammation is really one of the biggest factors with any demyelinating condition, especially MS, because when everything swells, a signal that is already slowed down or interrupted is only going to get worse. So, I have like my base, we all have our baseline of like how crappy our day is going to be. Like we know that this is going to hurt or this isn't going to work or whatever.
Yeah.
But then when the swelling and the pressure, it's like, it just adds layers onto it. That makes it just so much harder to get anything done. So yeah, that's my frustration this week, is the fact that like I've talked about in a couple of weeks, I have these things that I want to do, but now it's even getting harder. So I think what I really need to do is I need to sit, I need to meditate on what's really important. What am I making more important than needs to be? And go from there. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
As soon as I write it down, then I relax a little bit because I know it's there and I'm not going to forget about it. Yeah, it's procrastinated, but at least I don't forget about it.
And that's I feel the same way. I feel like I'm procrastinating, but then after a little bit, I'm like, well, who's setting the timeline? Like procrastination is if there's a timeline. If there's no deadline, it's not procrastinating. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But if you don't have a deadline, it'll never get done.
Exactly.
Just saying.
There's the problem.
So me and the TV shows. Just love my reality TV shows. Fear Factor is an old one. They remade it now with, what's his name?
Knoxville.
Oh my God. Knoxville. I love that guy. Well, I don't really love him, but he's cool. So they came up with this show, Fear Factor, with him. And in the show, me, I like bringing up what people say. Someone said, They had to quit because they don't want to end up dead or in a wheelchair. I just love how the dead part was first and then the wheelchair. I don't know if that is it better if it's I don't want to end up in a wheelchair or dead. So it was just funny that I heard that. I'm like, I'm gonna write this stuff down. Sorry about the hair coming around. My cat was all over the place right now.
It's okay.
Yeah, man. So what's going on with you? How was your weekend?
It was good. Like I said, I'm just trying to get out of my own way. I'm trying to get out of my own, headspace. Trying to just remember that that this is, I think this is part of the relapse. Like I don't know how to say it. Like, I know a relapse is defined by symptoms that you have being so exacerbated that they take over your daily life. Like we all, those of us that know when what we have gets dramatically worse and it's time to take action. But I also feel like you can have, or at least I have, like a lot of pseudo relapses, because I know that's a thing where it's like you get worse, but you don't get so bad that you have to go to the hospital. So a lot of my symptoms are kind of like really amped up right now. And I know that if that I'm not quite to that threshold yet, but I do know that if I don't really, like I was saying a little bit earlier, if I don't really pause and reevaluate like why I'm doing what I'm doing and what is the motive behind these tasks and can they wait, I think I'm going to end up in a bad spot. So I need to slow down. The problem is I feel like I've put way too much on myself this month and I'm kind of overextended. So I'm just trying my best not to be like fatigue angry most of the time. Um, so I've spoke. I shot a message to my neurologist, and he was like, "Yep, okay, we've seen this before. You've reported this to me." Well, what he said was, "You've reported this to me before, so I know kind of where you're at, and if it gets any worse, if it gets more impactful, that's what I mean by worse. Like, then he said, then we'll go ahead and we'll bring you in." So I'm like crossing my fingers and toes that I can just relax. But you probably know, you can't force yourself to relax. That's it's like that's twice as stressful being like, calm down. Oh, calm down.
Breathe, bro.
Yeah.
Breathe.
It's like
Tap, tap,
you'll
tap.
be all right. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, so I end up actually in here a lot, um, playing various drums and just kind of just trying to get the energy out and try to realize that I have a lot, just reminding myself that there's a lot of people in my life that really are okay with shouldering some of the burden when I can't do that anymore. And what do we always talk about on this show? It's the ego that's like, no, I'll be fine. I can handle this. And I'm just like, no, actually I can't handle it. And that's okay because I have people that can.
Yeah,
So that's my confession for this episode.
I get it, bro.
That's my sharing.
I get it.
So
But I don't get
honestly,
it because I'm not a father either. So
yeah, but
not that it has anything to do with your
yeah,
kids. I'm just saying
I understand
the
what you're saying.
mental
It's yeah,
thinking of your life is different than mine.
but again, I'm fortunate that my kids are in their 20s, so like they don't need me every day to do everything. So I can, and it's wild to think that when I was diagnosed, they were 8 and 10. Like a lot of the guests we have on, a lot of the people we talk to, they have young children, and I, every time we talk to them, I'm just taken right back to being like, I remember how scary it was. I can only imagine how scary it was for them if they even knew what was going on. And, when I talked to them about it, they were like, no, we really didn't know anything about it. Like, you told us, you kept us informed, but we really didn't know. And I was like, well, neither did I.
And you didn't look sick, right? To
No,
them?
right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was
Yeah. When was it
very physically fit at the time.
when was it the first time they actually said the word multiple sclerosis? Do you remember?
The kids? Well, they were, they were kind of little to say the word. So we just said MS.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fine. I mean, fine.
No, we talked about it a lot when I was first diagnosed because there was a
Okay.
lot of
Cool.
things that were, um, the first thing I had to tell them was I had to get them to understand that the same thing that we all have to understand. Um, just hearing, yeah, well, just hearing the words
Yeah.
doesn't mean that's the end. That's what we have to tell we have to we even have to tell ourselves that. I had to tell myself that it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
just because you have MS doesn't mean it's game over.
Yeah.
Um, so now as adults, they fully grasp that I'm going to be around for a very long time. There's just going to be a lot of times where it sucks, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
But
know,
this is why when you're newly diagnosed, you should really go to a support group, not for just to see what it is out there, because when you go there, you realize there's a lot of people who are still fine in their 60s and 70s, man.
another thing why you should go to a support group is because just because you see a wheelchair doesn't mean they're not contagious. So,
I remember during COVID, but I was going and there was a lady, I was on the sidewalk, she went on the street. And I'm like, I'm not contagious. And then I went home and I'm like, this lady, blah, 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 blah. And then someone's like, maybe it was because of COVID. I'm like, yeah, it could have been. It was probably COVID. That's funny.
but yes, many, many times we're big proponents of peer support groups and stuff. Um,
If you need it, it's
yeah,
just a tool.
yeah. And that's, and you're not locked in forever. I bounce in and out constantly.
Totally.
So,
That's the problem with these is that when people come, and you know what I noticed is when you tell everyone the group starts at 2, people come in at 2:05, 2:10 because they don't want to be in there alone and then put on the spot.
right, right.
Right. They don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to, so yeah.
So yeah, other than that, I actually have, I reached out to my wheelchair company because I'm due for some new parts,
Your
which is
mechanics.
wild to think that I have had a wheelchair long enough that it's time to replace like major parts, which is crazy. So 5 years in, I got a new seat, got a new cushion, and it is looking ratty, man. After like 100
5
times of watching.
years, dude.
Yeah.
They say you should get a replacement every 2 years max.
Well, I'm not in it all the
Oh,
time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. You see who says the 2 years is if you're wheelchair bound. You're right. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And that's what they, and then it's pretty cool because it's actually super easy because they do most of it over the phone. You just kind of you video chat with them, and you can, you show them the tires and all that stuff, and anything that's defective. It's a really good company. I like them. I've never had, they've always been super awesome. New Motion. I'm going to give them a plug, not that we're sponsored, but, so they take very good care of my Canadian wheelchair.
Nice. 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 But they're in the States, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
But they're everywhere. They're a
Cool.
big, huge company. Because
It
that's all.
sounds familiar, but I don't know.
And
New Motion.
and anyone who can't get to them, they have mobile services. They can come right to your house, which I've taken advantage
Cool.
of. But that's my
Yeah.
plug for them, just because I got new parts coming.
Yo, I got an electrical wheelchair from somebody, a buddy of mine, and I feel bad because it's been sitting here now for over a year.
Okay.
So I'm donating it.
Really?
So I know there's a couple programs here that they take donations, and if you need something, you call them, and if they have it, they give it to you.
That's cool.
So I'll
Yeah,
probably be doing that.
but that's the other thing. You bring up another point there. We're fortunate enough that we have access to like everything. You know what I mean? And we can get into the trap of having too many things that we don't use. But I feel the same way because I did that with my power chair because I had one.
Power chair, power wheelchair.
Yeah, I know what you
Why
mean.
would you correct me? I'm like
I don't
electrical
know.
wheelchair.
Listen, because my processor's lagging too. So,
Dude,
not here to
I
correct
knew there was something
Terry.
wrong with it, but I'm like, yeah, electrical wheelchair. Yeah.
I knew what you meant, though.
Yeah.
I knew what you meant. So I did exactly the same thing. I was gifted a power chair.
Yeah.
I replaced the batteries in it. That's the only thing it needed. So for like $80, I had a power chair, and I used it maybe once in 6 months. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need that yet. Too soon. You know what I mean? So I donated it.
Yeah.
And the guy I donated it to, his insurance, didn't cover it. I mean, it's hard to get coverage for those things anyway. It's a whole process.
Yeah.
But he was denied through his insurance, so I gifted it to him, and he's been riding it every day since. So that thing's still on the road, so to speak.
Do you know what he has, or just some?
He has MS.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay.
Yep.
You know somebody else with MS
I know lots of people with MS. I know this guy named
locally?
Terry. Yeah, I know guys. I know
Yeah.
people from all over the world. I talk to tons of people.
Cool. No, but locally. Not around.
Yeah, locally, I know like 4 or 5 people
Cool.
that
How
I
did you meet
check in
them?
with.
Is it through the ambassador stuff?
No, actually, just because I knew who they were before, and when I was diagnosed, through our paths have crossed, and I'm like, well, now we have something, like I can talk to you for real about it instead of just listening to you. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
but yeah, I know them, and I check in. It's like, we check in on them, each other every now and again, because especially
Yeah.
when like weeks like this, when the weather is insane.
Insane in the membrane.
It's what we all are.
That shows how old I am.
We are. Don't you know I'm loco? So
Yeah.
speaking of determined people, have you been watching the Paralympics?
Yeah, like I'm glued on the TV, man. Do you know who just no, bro, no, sorry.
Watch the highlights. It is fantastic. So I know we were supposed to have a guest on today, because we schedule lots of people and we always love talking with the community, hanging out, introducing new people to our community, and allowing those who want to come on here and talk to us the time and the opportunity to tell their story and all that stuff, right? That's what we do. So we were super excited to talk to our guest Jason today. Unfortunately, we couldn't connect, but we are going to reschedule him. We're going to bring him back in later this year, and we'll touch base then.
All right, guys, hold up. We got a bit of a situation here. Nick had to run. I mean, not literally, but Nick had to go. And as he was leaving, Jason messaged me saying that he was able to come in now. And it was honestly a bit of a mix up of time, and it was my fault. Yes, it was my fault. Anyway, let's make the most out of it. Since he's coming in right now, you're going to watch a little casual conversation between Terry and Jason. And yeah, stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. It's too bad Nick's got to go. I just want to let everyone know what your name is.
Jason R. Gray.
I know, but
Gotta keep the R in there.
Jason R. Gray. My bad. I think I even wrote it down there as Jason R. Gray, right?
One letter
Yes,
can
I
make a
did.
big, huge difference. I
I
think
did.
if you put
Whatever.
just Jason Gray, there's like orthodontist and a bunch of other Jasons, but we don't count them.
So what does R stand for anyway?
Robert.
Okay. So you don't like it? Sounds like Jason Robert Gray.
I feel like the full thing is a bit much.
First of all, I want to hear your story. Legit, how did you get yourself to a doctor to be like, I'm going through shit? What is this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in 2005, some weird shit started to happen. Like it started with a patch of weird sensation on my lower back. When I touched it, it didn't feel right. It wasn't quite like numbness, but my instinct told me this is like wrong. And so went to the doctor. He said it was probably a pinched nerve. I'm sure everybody with MS has started out this way with because it's little things at a time, right? Then my feet, I started to have numbness on my feet. And then I had what I didn't know the name for it then, but optic neuritis. Once we had like those three things going on, led to the diagnosis of probable MS, which then led to MS.
So yes, the back thing, I didn't have that, but I've heard people saying, oh, they thought it was sciatica and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've heard of that.
That was on the table.
Optic neuritis. When I first got diagnosed, I had a little bit of optic neuritis after I got diagnosed, and then it kind of went away. I believe it went away because when I went to a optometrist I didn't know that they can check it, and he's like, no, you're good. You don't have it. So I'm like, I did have blotchiness once, so maybe that was inflammation. I don't know.
I've had like 5 bouts of. I was like, it was very bad for a time, but my optic nerve in scans still looks fairly normal. So I was lucky on that front that I made pretty good recoveries. I still have some soft spots in my central vision in my left eye, but like I'm looking straight at you with just the left, there'll be some spots that are not in focus. But when you've got both eyes going, the brain compensates, and when I've got my glasses on, pretty solid still. I'm very lucky because I know that some people go blind completely after one bout, and that's it forever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it sucks because I talk about stuff like that. I'm like, I have these shitty symptoms, but sometimes I'm like, I'm fortunate it's not those symptoms. But it sucks saying that because somebody else listening to this probably has those symptoms.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to depress everyone here, but I'm the same way, man. I had optic neuritis because I remember the blotchiness. I couldn't stare at someone dead on with one eye because it would be what you said. It would be covered, but it's gone. Sorry, I feel bad.
Did you get the pain when you moved your eye and
No,
like that?
no, because the optometrist was saying that too. There's pain, But I've had pain with my eye in the past. Like we're talking about like 5, 10 years. It was just a weird pain, but I just thought my eyes were tired. So maybe I just didn't recognize it because I'm a guy and I'm like, who cares? I'm probably just tired.
I don't need to see things. Who cares? I'm fine. I'm blind. It's all good. Let's go.
Dude, you got MS. How long until you ended up in a chair?
That's an interesting question because it's not really the MS itself that put me in that position.
I know.
I was walking like normally, more or less. I mean, until I would say late 2017, I started to notice like a little bit of, I don't know, uncertainty in my footsteps. Like I'm gonna go put my foot down there, but I wasn't certain that I was gonna land it properly. I don't know. There was stuff going on, but it seemed to be manageable. But I was on a drug. Can I name the drug? It's just like
Yeah,
a, yeah,
dude. Yeah.
because I want to send that thing to a watery grave if I can. So the drug is called Gilenya. That drug works by trapping lymphocytes in the lymph nodes. And I was not doing well on that. Like my bruises weren't healing. I was not feeling myself. And basically, long story short, my neurologist, thinking that I was having a relapse without doing further testing, put me on prednisone to quell what might have been a relapse. And unfortunately, he didn't check my lymphocyte levels before putting me on a second round of prednisone. Because with Gilenya, they're going to be low, but there's like an acceptable low, which I can't remember. It was like zero point 0.5 or something. So mine
Yeah.
were at zero point 0.3 when
Okay.
he put the first bit of prednisone on.
Yeah.
Then the second time he didn't check them again. And therefore, when I went on prednisone, it crushed my immune system out. And so I walked up a flight of stairs to go to bed, and I woke up in the morning like literally full quadriplegic. And that lasted for about a month and a half. I had lymphopenia, which is full depletion of the lymphocytes. So my body just went into like shutdown mode. And so it's amazing that I can do what I can do. Like then I went to Parkwood and did a lot of rehabilitation there. Was able to get up on my feet like day one. They're amazing. They're they will
Yeah, man.
maximize your potential. Then I was in the outpatient program I was in it for 5 years. And during that time I got to walking again, like at the bars, like not like fully normally, but things were headed that way. Then I got COVID in 2023 and that triggered like not a relapse, but a worsening of like the leg spasms. So my legs are strong, like normal strength, but they're so tight. It's
Yeah.
just really it's just not safe for me to be trying to walk around. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You told me this the first day I saw you. You're like, I had an issue with the
Yeah.
DMT. And I'm like, no
Yeah.
way. That's something we need to hear, right? Because
Yeah.
it happens. Do you think it was just bad luck, man? Or do you think it's just in your vision, like, is it not a good drug or is it just bad luck on your part?
I think it's a really dangerous one. I think they're all dangerous, but that one, when you take your first dose, you're like hooked up to like heart monitoring because
Yeah.
people have died like on their first dose. It's a very powerful drug, but I'm scared of oral ones because they have to be digested and they have to go through so much. The one I'm on now, Ocrevus, it's just an
Yeah.
infusion every 6 months.
I'm on Ocrevus too, right?
I did not know that.
Oh shit. Okay. We
No.
never talked about this. Yeah.
But since being on that, there's been no evidence of progression on my scans of my MS. That's since like 2019 now. So
Me too.
if only I had been on that thing sooner or it had existed sooner. I didn't really go on the market for us
Me
till like
too.
2016, I think. So yeah. My old neurologist, my original one, well, no, sorry, the one who took over for me.
Who's your neurologist? Do you mind saying his name?
Yeah, so the one who put me on I haven't
Yeah.
mentioned his name publicly before, like in the book. I wrote a memoir about what happened,
I
which
didn't
has
even know
not
you
been,
did.
yeah. So I wrote a book about it. I have not published it yet.
Oh,
It's
okay.
sitting there. It's there. It exists. It will be published, but it's just not. Right now, I'm
Yeah.
working on some other things, which I'd like to talk to you about today too. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so the doc, right. So his name is Dr. John K.
Okay, thank God it's not my neurologist. Okay, yeah.
No, okay, yeah. And anyway, I listen, I believe he was a good guy. He had my
Yeah.
interest at heart, like he was a meteorologist for a decade almost. I trusted him and I think he's a good person. But he absolutely fucked up. And unfortunately, we tried to do a lawsuit, but it's really hard to prove that a doctor didn't do what they were supposed to do. If they did something that directly destroyed you, that's different. So it was really a lot of dead ends there. And it was going to be a lot of my life wasted trying to pursue that. So when I was in the hospital, they knew that it was a doctor error because they immediately discharged me from him and gave me Dr. Sarah Morrow. She was the head of the MS clinic at the time. She, like, to get onto her, patient list, there was like a 3-year wait list, but she took over because she was like, she realized this was a big deal.
She's gone now. Like she's
I
not in
know.
the MS
She's
clinic.
in
Yeah. Okay.
Calgary now.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like the director over there. That she's got a big, huge job, but she was
Cool.
amazing. Loved
Cool.
her, loved talking to her. I felt safe with her immediately. Once my mind came around, because everything went off the grid, man. I was like, my mental acuity changed for a time. Like, you and I would not be having this conversation during that period.
I'm just curious. I know you're working on something now. Have you worked on something that was released before?
Films?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. Like
I've seen projects. I've seen your projects, but
my last film, Glass, we won Best Narrative
that one.
Feature at the Reading, Pennsylvania Film Festival. It's on Amazon right now.
Okay.
That was my first feature, though. Prior to that, it's all short films, which then I did one called The Golden Hour years ago, which did very well in Toronto. And that's on YouTube, freely available. Like, you'll put my website in the show notes and stuff,
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure.
But the new one, that's one I've been working on since like 2016 when I started writing it. And then along the way, this shit happened. But somehow this film has survived in my brain and my life, and it's actually evolved since, because of everything that happened to me. Sort of,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's shit, man. Like when all this is happening, do you have support? Do you have
Oh yeah.
family around you?
But yeah, I've got an
Like,
amazing support system around me.
okay.
My
Okay,
mom in
cool.
particular. My mom
And
and I are
you're
very close.
and yeah, cool, man. Cool. And you went into Parkwood, like you were in what is it called? Inpatient? That's what it is, right?
I was an inpatient there for 3 months, and then I was in the outpatient program and managed to extend it for like 5 years.
Why were you inpatient for 3 months? Because of your fatigue? I know it put you down. I'm not discrediting
Dude,
you, but I'm
no
just
man.
curious why they said you need to come in here now and stay here for 3 months.
I had to
Like what?
be I had to be completely like everything had to be rehabilitated. You have to keep in mind, my legs came back while I was at St. Joe, while I was at University Hospital. I was able to pedal a bike. I was able to do stuff. I couldn't weight bear yet or anything like that. I was in
Yeah.
UH for 2 months before I even went to Parkwood. 2 months in the hospital. No, man, like I had encephalopathy of my frontal lobes, which is inflammation. Now, the frontal lobes are like the most important part of the brain that separate a human being from every other species. And that's how we make decisions, like make plans. So I had no filter. I was like, dude, I was off the grid, man. I was grabbing nurses like sexually. I was like throwing food and soup at people. I was like screaming at night. I was one of those patients, screaming all night. It's hard to believe. Like I don't have like very strong recall of those moments because I was like offline.
Yeah.
But I did capture what I could in the book. Eventually, though, I'm not sure when the moment came when I started to like come around a bit. I think I made a decision once I started to really feel a little bit more in touch with myself to stop eating in the morning again because I don't do that. Like I do intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And so I operate better. I think the body's, I have more access to my resources when I'm not digesting food and things like that. So once I started doing that, it seemed to be daily improvement. And I said, please send physio to me in the morning, not in the afternoon. And let's get started early and just keep going. And then I started to expedite my recovery. That's when Parkwood stepped in. They're like, okay, he's almost ready to come here. And then once I went to Parkwood, we just hit the ground running. But again, I had like a Foley catheter in for the whole time I was at UH, so my bladder had to be retrained and everything. Like it was like literally going back to, like in a video game, you get like really close to the end. You're like, I'm doing really well, and then you get sent back to the beginning. It was kind of
Yeah.
like that for my life.
Dude, first of all, thank you for sharing this stuff because, you're being vulnerable with me.
I've
And
never
I
shared that on a podcast or anything like that before.
respect, man. Thank you. So I'm open to everything you say. People don't want to talk about this because they're like, oh, I don't want to hear this. It's like, nah, man, this is real life. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
I mean, this stuff is going to come up. I mean, I'm making a movie now, right? I'm going to be entering into public eye again, and
Yeah.
probably the biggest way that I ever have. So I don't shy away from this stuff because, like, again, this movie is going to be accessible forward production, and meaning I think we're doing something that's very unique. And yeah, I would love to
That's
have
cool.
you involved in the production in some way too, brother.
Yo, don't tease me, bro.
I'm
You
not
know I'm
teasing,
down.
man. I'm not
I'm
teasing.
down, man. You earlier, no one saw, but I had to go use the washroom. And then I came back and you were like, I had those days. I'm like, what, man? First of all, when I see you at Parkwood, I don't want to talk shit, but when I see you in my head, I'm like, okay, sorry, bro. I feel you're doing a little worse than me. Why I say that is because when you stand up, you look like you're struggling with pain. And when I stand up, it makes me stand up. And, I do lose my breath like you kind of do. I saw you and I do lose my breath a little bit. It's weird. But when you're standing up, it just feels like you're breaking your back. You know what I mean? You're like crack, 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 crack. It's not making noises, but and then now you're like, oh, I've been there with the washrooms, and you're telling me you're past that.
Yeah.
Whoa, you don't have washroom issues like me?
No, I do. I said I remember when the days when I could come and go that quickly, like what you did. That's not the case,
My
now.
bad. Yeah.
I mean, it's not pain when I'm getting up. It's just the spasticity of my body is so intense. But no, it's a good pain. It's just I'm getting up. My body's like used to sitting down, so it's like,
No, I get it. It's like a stretch pain.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We're like, I don't want to be like we're the same because I don't even know what part of the muscles don't really work on your legs. And you went
Well,
through
the
that
thing is,
whole,
they work. It's not that they don't work. It's they're hyper, like I have like hypertonia or whatever it is, like where they're just like always active. They're always on. Like I've got great muscle tone in my legs. Like my doctor said my legs are probably very close to, if not more strong than an average person walking around, which makes the whole thing more frustrating, of course.
wasn't it you that told me that usually you do with the FES bike, right? Usually you do off motor.
Actually, I had my record best time since 2023, since I had COVID, on this past a week ago, a week from Friday. Yeah, I went from my previous best was 53 seconds off motor, meaning I'm pedaling the bike 100% against 6 pounds of resistance. Um, for 53 seconds, but the last one I did was 2 minutes and 20 seconds, which is a big leap
See,
forward.
people don't get this. For 30 minutes, you're on this bike and the motor is pushing your legs, right? It's helping you. And for 30 seconds ish, you're biking on your own against 6 pounds of force.
2 minutes and 30 seconds the last time. 2 full minutes. That's across the ride.
Dude,
Mine are very muscular still, and those muscles are like very rigid a lot of the time. So up until like 2017,
yeah.
when I was finishing production on my last movie, I would still we would go up. We were shooting in an old factory, a warehouse here in London for some of the movie, and we would be up on like the fourth floor, and that's like up horribly gross concrete stairs, up and down
Okay.
multiple times a day. I would
Yeah.
do that, and then 3 times a week, I would ride a recumbent bike, K. Like 3 times a week, I would do this during production. So my legs were capable of that right up until like they weren't. It was really like a quick sort of process. So something was happening MS wise, but the drug just sort of through its way of blocking the healing process for whatever it does that prevents platelets from forming, it
Yeah.
just really pushed me over the edge that I'd clearly been teetering on for a while.
Who's your neurologist now?
I'm Dr. Warren Berger, and he's good. He was actually Dr. Morrow's fellow when I was, so he saw me during those periods. So there's some continuity there, which I appreciate.
So you see him now? That's your current doctor?
Yeah, and I
Why don't
like
you say
him.
hi to him? Because he watches this.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Berger.
I don't
I'm
know
the
if
same as
maybe
him.
just the one episode that he
Yeah,
has, but yeah, he's
that's
cool. I
cool.
like him too.
That's
Yeah.
awesome that he watches it. I'll be seeing him like very
Well, I
soon
don't
from
think he,
I get my infusions done at his office now. So
me too. Me too. And we just had a guest
okay,
on
so
our
that's cool.
show.
That's cool that you're his patient too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Steve, who was on the show, that's where I met him. I was doing an infusion with him.
Nice.
And then, yeah, so that's cool, man. How is everyone in London seeing the same neurologist? Isn't there a lot more neurologists out here?
I don't know,
It's just
man, but
coincidental, man.
he's good, so I'm enjoying.
Yeah, I like him. You know what's funny is that
He's
when I,
also I joke with him, and I'm sure he downplays it, but he looks pretty ripped to me, man. I said to him like, so I did a video for Parkwood for their gallery night. I
okay,
don't know if you ever sent it to you or if you've seen it.
no,
I'd be happy to send it to you privately at some point, but
you damn
in
right,
that
yeah.
video, I talk about my favorite song lyric, which was actually a favorite lyric before this shit happened to me. But from Arcade Fire, they wrote a song called My Body is a Cage, and it's an incredible song. And the chorus goes, My body is a cage, that keeps me from dancing with the one I love, but my mind holds the key. And that just sort of like sticks with me, because
Yeah.
everything that's happened, like amazing things are happening in my life right now. Um,
Yeah. Like you met me.
I met you. I mean, it's the main thing.
Yeah.
But I've met amazing people, like
Yeah.
I forget this movie that's happening now. I've got an amazing support team in my life, like my mom in particular. The movie itself is, my collaborator, Edward Platero, who I hope that you get to meet,
Yeah, man.
is making this whole process possible. If you saw my video, you'll see if you're sharing it too. The technology that he's working with, enables me to transcend my body's limitations, And so no, and I've met like an amazing woman who is in my life now. And so we watched one of my favorite movies, Punch Drunk Love, and this is like a great mantra, which I'd like
Yeah.
to hang on to. It's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who, took the award at the Oscars last night for one battle after another. But
Yeah.
there's the greatest line in that movie is he's he's called at one point in the movie he calls like a phone sex line,
Yeah.
and it goes off the rails. They keep trying to get more money from his credit card. The company that it's the umbrella company that's under is D&D Mattress Man. That's what the payments are made out to. So he walks all the way to after these henchmen try to beat him and try to pump him for more money. He rips the phone out of the wall and travels all the way to where the mattress company is. And he's still holding the phone with the cord hanging off it when he walks into the store. And he
Yeah.
goes, they stand face to face. He's staring at the mattress man, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, of all people. And he goes, um, he's staring at him. He goes, I have a love in my life that makes me stronger than anything you can imagine. And he goes, so I would say that's that, mattress man. That's such a great moment, but that's like,
I'm gonna YouTube that.
but yeah, I can send it to you even.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, that quote, man, and I feel I have that too. And so that's like everything, man. I'm
Yeah.
like love energy is everything to me. Um, that's why I don't come across as particularly angry. I mean, I often am angry about things, frustrated, obviously, but I'm also
Yeah.
like, it could be much worse, man, and I could be much more dead. I could be gone. And all of these experiences I've had since coming out of that shit would have never happened. You and I would have never met, you know? And yeah, so this movie
Yeah,
is going
man.
to exist, man, and this movie never would have existed. And Edward says in the video, the pitch video, is the fact that the script exists, the fact that we're doing this, because he was there with me, man. He witnessed what was happening to me. He's
Yeah.
seen things about me that I don't even have mind space for. Like I don't even. He's had to. He stood up for me too when they thought I was far gone. And so he said on the video, like the fact that the script exists is nothing short of a miracle. And it's true.
How old are you?
97. I look good for my age, eh?
Yeah. Not really. You look
Yeah,
90.
I do. Yeah, okay. No, I'm 48. I'm born in 78. I just
Okay.
turned
Cool.
40.
Cool.
Just
Yeah.
turned 48.
We're all
Yeah,
the same age ish.
yeah.
Cool. Cool.
I've had things happen to me, man. Like when I was in the hospital, I'm not going to get too graphic about this,
No. No. Get graphic, please.
but
Go.
when I was in the hospital during COVID for a month, two nurses came and took me to have a shower and stuff, right? So anyway, in the shower, like, sitting on like these chairs, like anything can happen with the body. And my body just was like very relaxed or whatever. But while things were happening, and again, I'm fully exposed, fully vulnerable, I was still like flirting with these
I'm not
two
laughing,
women.
bro.
Anyway, so I'm flirting with these two women, and like
Yeah.
as if nothing insane is happening right now, nothing strange is happening. I'm not sitting on a commode chair, naked, vulnerable, in a shower stall with these two young nurses. Like it's
Yeah.
totally fucking normal, right? So anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm flirting with them. I'm like, by the way, I make movies, guys. Like when we go back to the room, I'll give my website, and they were flirting back, man. I think they were just like, wow, this guy is still confident and like cocky even this way. I mean,
Yeah.
I experienced ego death when I went through the thick of it, and I was a pretty, you know, a cocky guy. I mean, in my past iteration of life, um, after I went through that experience and I had to find my way back to like, am I going to still make movies? What's the point of doing any of this? And so
Yeah.
somehow my ego sort of like a phoenix rising from the ashes, started to come back, but from a healthier place. It's more
Yeah.
just now I just believe that I'm worth all this bullshit. And that's how I get through it. And that's not cockiness. It's like I believe in myself that I'm capable of doing these things as long as I mean Edward, I wish I could have brought him on here too, but he said he would never work with me again after Glass because I was like very like this is the way I'm gonna do it. This is my way. But I sort of
Yeah.
cut him out. He was the director of photography on the movie. And when I went to edit it, I disappeared for 3 months. I should have included him. Like, I didn't need him at that point to do editing, but still, it's not a collaborative thing. I didn't approach it that way. But now I'm letting him do his thing, and he is like an assassin, man. He's contacting all the people, doing all the legwork. He said, all I'm gonna have to do is make decisions, just be a director. And that was like such a relief. So now it's just sort of making sure I'm just telling him, let me know. I'm letting him be the production manager, basically. I'm like okay with him taking control of that because I
Yeah.
know it will get done. And if you leave it in my hands, I will
Yeah.
wander off the path. I'll get distracted. It will take much longer.
I think I have control issues. I'd need to do it.
He's a genius, man. Like so, I'm just letting it go. Let him
I,
do this thing.
yeah.
Speaking of the devil, he just texted me just now too.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, he must have known I was talking about him.
So it's how do you cancel Parkwood without feeling guilty? And do you tell them why you're canceling?
Yes. I don't cancel unless it's a big deal. So like if I have to be sick as a dog, just weak, um, or in this most recent case last week, my girlfriend came from out of town, and I'm like, I'm not coming into the gym this week. It's gonna be you and me, and that's how it is. That's how it was. Yeah. So she already knows how special she is to me, but so she knows it's a big deal if I take that week off. I have not done that for anybody. Uh,
Except for me. Yeah, yeah.
I used to be
I
on,
just
I was on gabapentin for a while because
yeah.
I had like hundreds of seizures when I was in the hospital, like focal seizures, like hundreds, dude. Um, yeah, man.
I have no words, bro.
I should not be alive, okay? Like it's a
Dude, what do you
miracle.
mean? I know people with MS
Hundreds.
get seizures, but
It was the encephalopathy, dude. It was the drug interaction. Like it was insane. Like I don't have a recollection of that. My mom has one picture of me in the focal seizure where I just like you're just kind of like zone out, like you're in a trance. They were very small. They can see on a scan if you're seizing. You could be in the middle of a conversation, just like be seizing
yeah, I
briefly.
understand. It's not what people think, like a whole shakiness. No, I understand.
No, there were
Yeah,
focal seizures, so it was very
yeah,
like
yeah.
But anyway, so in terms of brain fog, like I was on gabapentin for that. I recently went off of it because I found out that it can lead to things down the line like memory loss or dementia even. So I was like, I don't think I need this in my life anymore. I think it served its purpose. So now I don't take any drugs aside from the Ocrevus and occasional like Tylenol, basic things. But I take lion's mane Mondays through Fridays, which is like a performance enhancer for the nervous system and the brain. And so
Okay.
that's something you might want to look into as well. I mean, it's like it's a neurostimulant, and so it's actually been shown to stimulate nerve growth factor in the brain, which is pretty intense. It's a mushroom.
Well, I've heard about this. I've heard
Yeah.
about it.
So I take it 5 days a week, then I take the weekends off, and then back on Mondays through Friday.
Now everyone's gonna ask, is it psychedelic?
No,
Okay.
not in the
You know what I
least.
mean? Because that's what everyone knows is as
You won't be tripping balls on lion's mane. You can order it like it comes at fancy restaurants, like they use it in their dishes. So no, it's
right.
not psilocybin or anything like that. It actually looks really
Cool.
weird. You know what's interesting is that certain foods look like the part of the body that they're good for. Like
Yeah,
I think it's walnuts look like the brain. Literally, they look like the brain.
that's true.
Lion's mane literally looks like nerve strands. Like it's insane.
I can
It's
vision
just
it
like
now.
long strips. Like it's so things are connected in some powerful way that we're still. I mean, there's a part of your brain called the cannabinoid, like cortex or whatever,
Okay.
and that's like cannabis. It's a cannabinoid, right? So why everything it seems in nature interacts with us in some particular way? Further evidence that we are just part of this ecosystem.
True.
And I've just got a couple of texts from Nikki. So shout out to Nikki. That's the girl for whom I ditched Parkwood for a week. Anyway,
Not just Parkwood, but your friends.
I
Yo,
ditched you specifically you.
I'm
I was
joking,
like,
bro. You told me.
I'm
Yeah.
ditching Terry. Like screw this.
Man, you told me, so I knew. I have utmost respect for you when you're coming in and I said, "Yo, where have you been?" You're like, "Oh, sorry, bro. I wasn't here last week. I had a UTI."
Oh yeah,
And I'm cool. I will mention anything, but I'm just like amazed that you've grown past it. You just talk about it. And I'm not saying that it's embarrassing or shit.
dude,
I'm like that too,
I
but
wrote a book that is like literally everything that I could ever say about my life is pretty much in that book. And so eventually that's going to be out there. I'm not ready for it to be out there now, but if I can't talk about this stuff publicly, like I'm getting into the wrong area of life. As a filmmaker, I might as well use what's happened to me, illustratively, like to be able to share with people. I know that there are people out there for whom whether they have MS or something else, they can't go after what they were doing anymore. They sometimes very realistically cannot, but I found a way to proceed forward with the most insane lifestyle that you can possibly go after, which is the lifestyle of a filmmaker. Like making a movie is so impractical, unnatural, defies the natural flow of like a life. You have to I believe you have to be crazy on some level to think, well, I want to tell this story so badly that I'm going to do this much work and learn this much new technology, and also risk this much money and all these things so I can tell this story. On top of that, my daily life, it's a challenge to say the least. I don't think I need to tell you that. So,
yeah.
UTIs, yes, they're like they've put me in hospital so many times, but I've now got a treatment that I do once a week that seems to have been cutting them down big time.
How does a guy know when he's getting a UTI?
Well, I know I'm getting a UTI based on the urine, and then also if I
Burns
don't
a
cut,
bit?
no, it looks like horrible and a
What's horrible? Okay,
cloudy,
okay,
looks cloudy. It looks like opaque. You can't see through it, and
okay. All
so
right. So that's how you could tell. That's it. Like, isn't
if
that kind of
that usually means there's pus in there, meaning your immune system is like going crazy in there.
okay?
And so
Okay.
once if I have antibiotics at my bedside at all times, I have an ongoing like a standing order. So if I see that, I start immediately because if you can stop it quickly enough, I'm good. But in the past, before I even knew what the bacteria was that was manifesting, I would have to like go to the hospital, and by the time they figured out which antibiotic to put me on, damage was being done in my body, and it would like I would sometimes whilst in the belly of the beast there, I would need like a nurse to feed me my food. I'd go from fully independent the day before to needing to be fed my food. The UTI would
That's
take me out so
crazy,
much.
man. I
I
know
mean, they
UTIs
use
are.
Dr. Morrow told me that UTIs are often used as determining factors for MS. They're used to diagnose now too. Because sometimes a UTI can make it feel like you're having a relapse. Dementia patients can be affected by it as well. Yeah, it's insane how much power and dominion the bladder has over the.
Yeah, I know how serious a UTI is if it's not
Mhm.
treated. I
Yeah.
know. I know.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
like,
If we didn't have antibiotics, like we would not have survived as a species. I think
thank
that's one of the
God.
most valuable contributions has ever been made to the human race is the discovery of antibiotics. When did you
And
start
then,
needing the wheelchair?
fuck, when I was 20, oh my God, what am I talking about? 29, 39,
Okay. Oh, okay.
39. Oh my God. I was diagnosed 28 and then chair was definite by 39,
So
like all the time.
we're pretty much like parallel to each other. Like there was my life before I hit 40, and there was my life since 40. So basically 40 was when all the house of cards came down.
Mine was, yeah, late 30s. I mean, I had it, I was through my 30s, but it was hidden. Nobody would see. Everybody, they didn't understand. Cane, no cane, stuff like that. But I had a lot of symptoms, man. I had a lot of issues that I wasn't aware of, like my bladder. Now I'm in tune with things and I'm more better. But as you saw, I had to go use the washroom and I shouldn't have drank coffee because I'm thinking right now, I'm like, oh my God, in 5, 10 minutes, I got to go again. And I'm looking like I'm going to interrupt you. I feel so bad, but it's just the way of life. And it's so much easier talking to someone with MS because I know they get it,
Yeah,
especially you, because I
I've got
know
a
you
few
get it.
people in my life now with MS, and yeah, there are some things you can't talk to anybody else but someone with MS about and have them understand. Like one of my greatest friends of my entire life, and I call him literally my brother from another mother, and his mom had MS also. Mitch Brogan is a quadriplegic. He was hit by a drunk driver in 2006. So like he's taught me so much about like how to adapt to accessible living and all that stuff. And I mean, what he does is incomplete quads, so he can do things with his arms, but he can't like open his hands like this or do delicate things with
Yeah.
his fingers.
Yeah.
But man, he's running like a company, like he's making video games. Yeah,
That's
he's
really
bad.
cool, man. It's not over just because you have a limit.
It ain't over until you like agree that it's over. You know, I mean, that's not always true. Like sometimes it just is, and I respect that. I'm not going to say nobody's weak because they've died or been taken down by something horrible that's happened. I just happen to be very lucky that I have the support in my life to allow me to be this stubborn, to allow me to be like this sort of audacious that I'm going to still do the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes from, to be honest with you, like this drive, but I'm happy. I'm happy that I have the brain that I have because I don't know what things would have been like if I lost that. I like my brain. I got a good one. Not perfect.
Good.
I still do dumb shit, just like anybody else.
All right, dude. Much love for you. You know that. And thanks for coming on. We will have you on again when Nick is here. There's my cat. Part 2, bro. I need you to come back on.
I appreciate it, brother.
Awesome. Thanks for sticking around. Now let's end the show properly.
I just want to thank our audience for sticking with us, being here, and going with the flow. So we appreciate you, Terry and I. So thanks.
Yeah, what he said.
I'll start working on my gear video. Maybe I'll change my shirt first. I'll put the burgundy one back on.
Did you see that? That's an inside joke, guys.
I did.
You know what? If you're watching this, can you please just like and subscribe and all that stuff? I'm not going to, but just do it and then send me a message saying I did. Okay. Another thing is if you're actually watching our videos, you'll see we have some bloopers sometimes that we don't fix because I think it's funny. And one of our great fans, Karim, decided to call me and be like, hey, did you realize? And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm not going to tell you. If you figure it out, let me know if you figure it out. But
that's it. Go back through some episodes for this season. And if you see the editing glitch, let Terry know.
And I wrote
just comment, found it.
I'm like, yo, this Karim guy, he's crazy. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
and then I went, I'm like, yeah.
That was funny. What a good eye. I watched it and I didn't even catch it and I'm in it.
I edited it.
All right, brother.
Yeah. All right, bro.
I hope you have a great week. I'm going to go and do some meditation after lunch. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. Take care. Thanks, bro.
I'll talk to you soon. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4, the letter T, below0.com. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. And if you don't want to email us, no problem. We're on Instagram as @40belowzero. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll talk soon.